Okay. So I've done this like I don't know, like 4, 5 times already. For some reason I just can't get any videos out at the moment. I don't know why. I don't understand what's going on, but it just doesn't feel I don't know good. Anyways, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is January 5th, 2024. Friday, January 5th, 2024. So before I get started, I want to remind anyone that's watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you and gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. Okie dokie. So the first card that comes out, I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. I actually, this card never really comes out. I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. So there could be. Oh, I see. This has to do with like following your heart or whatever you're being called to, or I think it's or and. So whatever is in your heart, like you're trying to follow what's in your heart. You're trying to follow your calling. And at the same time, you are also being guided towards something. Um but here's the thing though. There is I don't know if it's like around you. I mean, it could also just be in you, because we're humans, right? So humans, there's that good and evil within all humans. It's just like having to balance the good and dark. Well, not good and evil, but like the light and dark, I should say. I mean, in this scenario, I'm gonna use light and dark. Okay, so it's just really about balancing the light and the dark inside of you, right? So I feel like in this situation right now, for a lot of you, you're trying to go towards your highest good. You're the light, trying to do that, and you're trying to find peace with that, trying to listen to that calling, trying to let yourself be guided to that. But there's still that darkness. And again, for some of you, it's around you. And for some of you, it's inside of you. It's kind of like that darkness is still maybe no. It's like, I don't know, it's something is giving you trouble from trying to like actually follow your heart or follow your goodness or follow your calling. Like it's not full blown like stopping you. Like it's not stopping you, obviously. But it's present enough to where you kind of maybe like stumble towards where you're going towards, okay? All right. I want to harmonize with what I believe is good. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to do and have and live in a way that is in harmony with my idea of the greatest goodness. I want to harmonize physically here in this body with that which I believe to be the best or the good way of life. I feel like a lot of you, I'm going to read the second part, but let me just say this first. I feel like a lot of you are trying to literally, it's very simple, just be the best version of yourselves. And some of you could even be questioning, like, why is it so hard, or why is it so difficult, or what's the problem, right? It's that it's kind of like your heart and your mind are at odds, but not necessarily. It's just okay. So, all right, for example, perfect example. But let me just. If you will make those statements and then do not take action unless you feel good, you will always be moving in harmony with your idea of that which is good. If you will make those statements and then do not take action unless you feel good, you will always be moving in harmony with your idea of that which is good. So, hold on. What's going on? What happened? Hold on. Okay, I just saw 5:45 away. So, all right, perfect example would be. So this could be talking about your self journey. All right. So the perfect example, the only thing I can think of is if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, you'll know what I'm talking about. Zuko. So Zuko, his entire life, like he's a son of he's a prince, like the banished prince, right? He's known as like the banished prince, blah blah blah. He spent his entire life trying to look for the Avatar so he can like restore his honor, blah 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 blah, right? But throughout his entire journey, he was taking like the bad path in his life, like he was just shitty. Right? It was just a shitty person. Let's just be real about that. It's a shitty person. So then there comes a pivotal point in his own personal journey where he's like, I don't want this anymore. I want to be good. I want to follow my calling, which is, it's always been like a tug of war in his heart. And you can see how this bright light is in this person's like chest. And then there's like an arm around it, and it's like someone is like, I also feel like you're being guided and protected. Like I said in the beginning, like you're being protected and guided to make sure that you follow this calling because this is something that has to happen for you. And for, it's like a trickle effect. Like this has to happen because then this happens and then this happens. But I'm not going to get into that. So, in the show, right, so there comes a pivotal point in his journey where he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be good. And the reason why that particular character was having such a hard time trying to do good is because he had both very, very strong spirits of light and dark. And so they were always at war with each other, all right? So not saying that this is something that's happening, like, this is, I mean, for some of you, it could have been a war within you, trying to, like, do good, but for some reason, it's like, no matter how much good you did, it was just always bad, all right? Something like that. I also feel like whatever your light is, whatever goodness you are, or whatever goodness you're trying to do or be, I feel like either it's someone close to you or just like people watching you. So you being the best version of yourself is like also like you're being guided to be the best version of yourself, right? But then like you being the best version of yourself will help other people be the best versions of themselves. It's kind of like, but they don't know how to be the best versions of themselves, so they're watching you be the best version of yourself. Like they're watching you heal. They don't know how to heal, so they're watching you heal so that way they can learn how to heal or they can try and be good. I had a dream. I had so many dreams last night. But let me just say this because there's something in here I have to talk about. If you will make those statements and then do not take action unless you feel good, you will always be moving in harmony with your idea of that which is good. Also be cautious of doing things in anger. Like I feel like those negative emotions, they last for about like 90 seconds. So if you do something out of anger, it most likely could be permanent. So like those crimes of passion documentaries and things like that, like Snapped, right? That show Snapped because out of anger they did something and then they did something that they could never take back, right? So be cautious of those emotions and those feelings. So you could be trying to like manage and work with your emotions and your feelings so you don't do something that you'll regret later on. Aside from that, I feel like that's pretty much that. But so this is you. This is your self journey right now. You're trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And you may know this, you may not know this, but by you trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be, it's kind of like inspiring other people to be the best version of themselves that they can be. Like I said, it's like a trickle down effect, right? But you have to, this is going to happen no matter what for you, right? But because like one of the reasons why this has to happen is because you doing this will help, you know, this person and this person and this person and that person and that person, and then all these events will take place and things. It's somebody has to get the ball rolling, and for a lot of you, it's you. Okay, so that's you. I feel like somebody is there's a bunch of ambulance outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Fire trucks. Those are fire trucks, which is so crazy because last night I had a dream about a house burning down. Well, in the dream, so this is what happened. In the dream, there was a woman on the computer and she had documents and people were looking over the documents and they were realizing that the documents were like this woman was doing things that were illegal when it came to the privacy of other people. In my dream, right? This is a little crazy. 11:41, right? And she was doing illegal things, and it had to do with like invading people's privacy to the point where like you wouldn't even know what's happening. But she was invading people's privacy, but it was only one-sided. Like she would invade your privacy, but you couldn't. Like she was like closed off completely, right? But anyway, she had these documents, and I remember I was like watching the entire thing like unfold, right? In my dream, and these people were, somebody found something in the documents, like they read something, and it is basically like the smoking gun. I guess that's the term. It was like a smoking gun because it kind of like everything pointed to this woman who was invading your privacy in the dream, right? She was like invading my privacy. And through invading my privacy, she stole like, I don't know, like it was like a house. So the house was like, I don't know, it was like over $160,000 or something. Because I remember I saw $600,000 in the dream. And so she had to give up the house. But because of the things that she was doing inside of the house was no good. Like it was just, I don't know, it was just no good. It was not pure anymore, the house. Which is crazy because in the dream, the house belonged to me. Like, it belonged to you, collective. The house belonged to you, but because of all the things that she was doing inside the house was no longer good. Like, it was just, I don't know, it didn't look dirty, but it just felt dirty. All right? It just felt dirty. So I remember in the dream, somebody told me, they were like, well, why not just burn down the house and start fresh? And then in the dream, I was like, okay, well, let me just burn down the house and then I'll just sell the land and then start fresh. And I remember the house was on fire there were certain rooms in the house that caught on fire even more. There was also, I remember because whoever this person was, that was like invading my privacy and all that stuff like that. Like, she had to give me the house. Like, she had to give me the house back. But it's like, there was something where it's like, I'll give you the house, but I know you're not going to do anything with it. But it's kind of like, again, that blew up in her face because it's just like, well, you're wrong because I can sell the house. I can sell the land. Or I can like keep the land, or I can tear down the house, I can burn down the house, I can rebuild the house, I can sell the land, I can do whatever. Because my property is now my property again, right? It belongs to me now. So it's something, I don't know, like a lot of the times fire represents cleansing. And then there's like, you know, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So something is being cleansed out, or something was cleansed out, something was like cleared out. And then I had a dream the other night about like a man who was like getting arrested, and there was like a bunch of police officers. They were around me, and they were like treating me like a victim. And they were one of the police officers. They're like, "We know you have a story to tell." I was like, "How do you know?" But that's a whole different dream. I'll get to that another day if I remember. But so I feel like despite all that, you're trying, and because also I want to mention that in the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, Zuko, he went through a lot of trauma, like neglect, trauma, abuse, bully, right? He was like the black sheep because like, and his mom loved him more than his wicked sister. His sister was just wicked down to the bone, but his mom, Zuko's mom, loved Zuko because she knew that there was a goodness in him, like a purity, and that made his sister very jealous and envious because it's like, and the mom knew that his sister was just rotten, right? Despite the fact that that was her own daughter, like she just knew that she was just a rotten little girl. And that made Azula, which is Zuko's sister, very jealous and envious of Zuko, right? Like it doesn't matter how much like praise she got from their father. Like, yeah, it made Zuko feel bad, but at the end of the day, the one thing that Azula was jealous the most and most envious and most like she hated her own brother the most was because he got love from their mom. And it's because like Azula was just wicked. So Zuko was more towards his mom's bloodline, like that purity, that love, that light, that goodness, and then Azula was more like the darkness, the envy, the wicked, the chaos, destruction. So I feel like for a lot of you, you were trying to deal through those two things, and you just, you know, you're trying to do your good now. The like Proverbs 24:20, for the evil man has no future. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. Yeah. So I feel like whoever this wickedness, whatever this darkness that is around you, they're trying to prevent you from being the best version of yourself that you can be. But like I said, it's not. For some of you, it is that darkness that's inside of you because you're still. There was like that war that was going on within you. For a lot of, you know what, too? For a lot of you, it's both. It's inside of you, but it's also around you. It's like whatever darkness that is around you, whatever negativity that is around you, they're trying to instigate that little darkness that's inside of you. Anyways, that's not going to work, though. For the evil man has no future, the lamp of the wicked will be put out. So either you're going to tame your darkness or you have already tamed your darkness, and whoever is trying to instigate or project onto you, they're no more. They're no more. Right? They're no more. They got caught. Whoever this, I feel like for a lot of you it was a woman, but for a lot of you it could also be a man. But in my dream it was a woman, and she was always behind a computer screen, like a laptop or something. It was always a computer screen. Like she always had her nose in the computer, and like she was always like trying to like invade. The word kept coming up as privacy. It was privacy. She kept trying to invade my privacy, and like she did for in the dream. Like the dream would span, like it would time travel in my dream. So because I remember like 100 years had passed. Like you know how like in movies they say, you know, 2 years pass, and after like all that crazy stuff happened, 2 years pass, and then like there's peace and whatever. But in the dream, right, after she got caught, blah 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 blah, the house got burned down. 100 years. It was 100 years in my dream. 100 years from all of that chaos and destruction and that, and then after 100 years, like I don't know, it was things were good. So this could have been. I don't even know how to phrase this, but whatever was going on, it was up to you to like. You just had to like win the war with yourself. And once you did, it's kind of like everything got. This person got caught. This thing came to light. This thing was, you know, revealed, and I don't know, but. There's also something about a twin here. Spiritual lessons, yeah. I feel like this was mostly a lesson for you to learn because I remember the whole point of in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the whole point of Zuko's journey was to like see that he was going down the wrong path. Like he had to see that, he had to feel that, he had to acknowledge that. Like it was his choice at the end of the day to want to do better, be better, see better, feel better, right? And he did, but it took him like I remember one of the most pivotal points in the show of his journey in particular was when he decided to make that decision, he got really, 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 really sick. So there could have been a time where you were like really, really sick, but that was just like your body and your mind and your spirit and your soul adjusting to a whole new like system downgrade belief like inside your mind, body, soul, spirit, right? So you went through a massive upgrade. Things got switched around, things got deleted, things got moved around, right? So anyways, let me move on. What? We got FI, secret love affair, Cancer. I'm just missing the B, FBI. We got quite a couple cards. Yeah, so we got the letter F, the letter I could be somebody's first, last, middle initial, name of a word or a place. We have fourth house, Cancer, and then secret love affair. So for a lot of you, let me talk about the Cancer fourth house first because it's interesting because and I was just talking about how Zuko had a better relationship with his mom only because of the fact that like this isn't talking about like moms, even though Cancers are like the moms of the zodiac, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how Zuko's mom saw the goodness, like there was just like a purity in Zuko, and she wanted to help cultivate and protect that. Versus Azula, his sister, was very nasty. Like she was just straight rotten to the bone. Like even as a child, just rotten. Like there were turtle ducks, right? And Azula would throw bread at the turtle ducks, right? Which is that's mean. But when Zuko did it, his mom was like, "Why would you do that? That's not nice." And then Zuko was like, "Well, Azula does it, and she thinks it's funny." And his mom was like, "Well, Azula doesn't. She's rotten." I mean, she didn't say it like that, but right. And I feel like that kind of like made Zuko see things a little differently. But then something happened where that nurturing, loving entity or person or guiding hand, it was like locked away from you or blocked off from you or taken away from you because in the show Zuko's mom just one day disappeared, right? And had she not disappeared, you can bet for sure that Zuko would have grown up to be completely different, right? But he didn't have that nurturing, loving, I don't know, energy, entity, being, person there to help guide him, right? Until I got to the point where he was just like, well, I'm gonna do things differently. If no one's gonna help me, I'm gonna help myself, right? So I feel like despite the fact that something was taken away from you to help block you and put you down the wrong path, you still found the right path. All right, and then we have secret love affair. So there could be some sort of secret love affair going on. Secret love affair. For some of you, it's the fact that you love yourself that's being kept a secret. The love that you get from the universe, the divine, your ancestors, the community, the neighbors, that's being kept a secret. It's like nobody is actually outright saying, "Oh, we love the collective, we love the collective," but that's also not a bad thing, at least not right now. Okay? FI. Somebody wants to stomp. This is why. So if you do have family, friends, neighbors around you, like if you do have a strong support, it doesn't seem like it because the universe is kind of like I don't know, keeping that hush hush. Because I just heard fee fi fo fum, and you know when you hear fee fi fo fum, you hear like it's like a giant stomping around fee fi fo fum. So it's like somebody. This is why this support group that you have, or I don't know, some people call it soul tribe, or I don't know, friends and family, that's being kept secret. So it's kind of like nobody really knows who your allies are, nobody really knows who your enemies are. It's kind of like nobody knows, okay? Because whoever is this darkness around you, whoever is trying to make sure that you just like don't inspire other people, if they find out that you're allied with so and so, they're most likely going to stomp around that, right? It's somebody wants to make sure that in order for you not to inspire other people, they need to, whoever this person is, they're trying to figure out who you're allied with, who you're close with. Because if they can get to them, then obviously, you know, it really, it's like about like, this person needs to stop. Because first of all, this person is very wicked. It's giving like Azula vibes, like Zuko's sister, like that girl. And at the very ending of the show, like she lost her mind because she just would not stop. She just would not stop, and she just lost it, right? For the evil man has no future for evil people. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. She's gonna be put out. For some of you, it's a feminine that is just like very wicked and evil that is around you, trying to figure out who you're allied with, who you're surrounded with, who you're trying to inspire, who's inspired by you. For others of you, it's a masculine, but it's really giving Azula. This person wants to stomp around whoever they feel or think, see are your allies. This could be a Cancer. You could be a Cancer. This could be somebody that you grew up with, or you could be family members with this person, or this is somebody who really wanted to make sure that you did not have like the ability to like live your purpose, walk your purpose, which is like the light. You are a light. This person, so for example, literally, and here's the thing too, Zuko, his character in the show was extremely important. It was so important that he didn't even realize how important his like, I don't know, like what he had of value to the Avatar was like, I'm getting a little emotional because out of all the characters in the show, I feel like Zuko was like the one who like really went through like the worst, the craziest, the most emotional character development in the entire show. There's only 3 seasons, but it's so good. You should definitely check it out, right? It's family friendly too, by the way. And it talks about so many things like it talks about bullying, neglect, prejudices, you know, forgiveness, heartbreak, betrayal, death, right? It's so many different things. It's such a good show. But I feel like whoever this person is, it's like they really wanted to make sure that you were just not like, you would always be confused, hate yourself, be angry with yourself. And here's the thing too, like Azula was always all up in, it's so crazy because in the show, Azula makes it known how much she hates her own sibling, right? But at the same time, she's always all up in his business, right? Always in his business, always trying to figure out what he's doing, where he's going. But at the same time, it's like you despise this person, but you want to know everything that they're doing. This is literally, this could be like a brother and a sister, a brother and a brother, or a sister and a sister. But the main thing is that you have one wicked sibling and one sibling who was meant to do something great, something powerful, something changing. But because of the wicked sibling was always like in their ear, downplaying them, they could have, the good sibling, Zuko, he definitely lost sight of who he was for a long time. Yeah. Like, it's crazy because Zuko had no idea, like, his role and the upcoming changes of it. That's why 100 years. Okay, so here's the thing, too. In the show, the Avatar disappeared for like 100 years, and then like all that chaos was going on for like 100 years, and then when he returned, that's when change started happening and things started getting put back into place, right? So basically, you finding yourself, you finding your way, you walking in your purpose is putting things back into place. And there's that negative, dark energy around you that's trying to make sure that things always stay the same, destructive, angry, bitter, betrayal. And here's the thing. Zuko ended up becoming for change, putting the world back in balance because the world was out of balance for a very long time. Azula was not for that. Azula was for power, power, power. We are the Fire Nation. We want power. Like, the Fire Nation, we're going to destroy everything. We're going to be on top of the world and blah, 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 blah. Right? So that's basically who this person is. They want power. They want power. I don't know why I keep repeating that, but that's who they are. Who they are. They get to watch you live your dreams. Yeah. And the ending of the show, Azula, she got trapped and, she was like locked in chains. She lost her mind. But then Zuko got to live out his life. He got to be happy. Everybody moved on with their life. They had children. It was all kosher, right? All blessed. It's this card at the top. 111, intuition. Trust your gut and listen to your heart. And I feel like that's what's going on right now. I want to harmonize with what I believe is good, right? So the more that you listen to your intuition, you trust your intuition, you're letting yourself be guided by your intuition, you're going to be able to live out this harmony. Because here's the thing too, there were many, many times in the show where Zuko knew that doing something was wrong. Like, you could just tell that his intuition was telling him, don't do this, but he would go ahead and do it anyways. But then it got to the point where he was like, yeah, I shouldn't do this. I'm not going to do this, right? And the more he kept saying no, like, the calmer he was getting, right? The happier he was getting, right? But, so that's that. So this is going to be a very, oh my gosh, look, 24, and we're in the year 2024. So, things are being put back into place. Okay? Especially this year. Oh, for some of you, I was gonna say this, but I don't know. So the fourth house is the mother, right? It's the mother of the zodiac. The cancers are the mothers of the zodiac. So here's the thing, though. So for some of you, despite the fact that you were denied a happy, healthy mother figure, this is what, for those of you that this applies to. So for those of you that were denied a happy, healthy mother figure, you still pushed past that. Like, you still found what you had to find. Okay? F-I, find. So. And you know what's I want to say something too. It's really annoying when people are like, oh, well, I never had this, so I don't know how to be that. That's, first of all, that's very lazy. And okay, so I understand that. Yes, blah, 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 blah. But there comes a point in time where you have to be like, okay, I never had this, so what can I do about it? Instead of saying, well, I never had a dad, or I never had a mom, or I never had siblings, or I was an only child, or, I had all these siblings, or we were always poor, we were always... Okay, and in the beginning, like, yes, we understand that. So sorry, I'm so sorry for you. My condolences, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, you have to realize, okay, I never had a mom, so what can I do about it now? I never had a dad. What can I do about it now? What things can I do differently now? I grew up poor before. I didn't have this, or I didn't have that, or I didn't have siblings, or I was an only child. What can I do about it now? Right? Like, I didn't have these opportunities. Well, there comes a time in your life where you have to be like, what can I do about it now? Okay? The moon reverse. Yeah, it's not a secret. This is not a secret that they get to watch you live your dreams. And I also feel like your life is being put on display for these people to watch. There's also something about a misunderstanding. not exactly like okay, like a lie. Like they wanted you to live in a lie about yourself. Because I remember in the show Zuko, he truly believed to the point where like it was the only thing that was driving him, that he had to find the Avatar, capture him, and then restore honor to himself, to his nation, to his dad, right? Who really didn't give a shit about him, right? But he was under this lie that it was so tight that it was like destroying him. Hold on. All right, that literally sounded like something was like crashing down. So I feel like whatever reality, or whatever these people are seeing about you, that they get to watch you live your dreams, like your happiness, your peace, and whatever your life is, it's not a secret to them, and it's not. I don't know. It's not doing well for them. It's not making them feel good about themselves. It's not making them happy. There's something about your smile. They want to hide your smile, or they don't want to see you smile, but you're smiling. And that's really not like going well for them. Because right now I keep seeing the one scene where Azula, which is Zuko's sister, she's got like the chains on her, and she's been caught. She's caught. There's nothing she can do. She's caught. But she's like yelling and screaming and crying, and like she's like losing her mind. Like she just crashed. She just crashed and burned. She just had a mental breakdown. Like I feel like this is what's going on. Like whoever this person is, this karmic feminine, like she's just, I don't know, like she was willing to do anything to make sure that you would just like live in a lie about yourself. This is a very wicked person, which is so crazy because in my dreams, it was a woman who was like always invading my privacy. And in the show, Azula always was like trying to like follow Zuko and trying to see where, and she would make it known like, you can't hide from me. I'm always going to know what you're doing. But then she also makes it known that she hates her brother. Like she doesn't like him. And it's like, you don't like me, you hate me, but you always want to know what I'm doing. Like, all right, you psycho. Like this person I want to say had, but that obsession is still there. But this person had like this weird obsession. And it's in the show, if you really pay attention, Azula was always jealous and bitter and hateful about the goodness that was in Zuko's heart. Because it gave him love from the person that created them, which was like their mom. Like, not to say, like, Zuko's mom didn't try to love Azula, like, she did, but it's just, Azula was just rotten, right? So it's like, you know, if this is like, thank you, baby, like, if you're constantly being rotten, like, it's hard for God to bless you, right? You're being rotten all the time, so it's like, there comes a point in time where even God would be like, why am I going to keep blessing you if you're just going to keep being wicked? Queen of Swords. So this is you standing in your truth, standing in your power, willing to cut down anything that disrupts your journey, disrupts your path. I also feel like there's something about so the fourth house is also about like the root base, like who you really are, where you really come from. So I feel like for a lot of you, you have to be realistic and be real and be honest about yourself, why you are the way you are. And again, which is so crazy because in the show, there comes a point where Zuko is like, I am the way I am because of this. But I don't want to walk in this path anymore. I want to be better, right? Zuko is like, why am I like this? Like, who am I? Why am I like this? Why am I so angry? Why am I so distracted? Why am I so whatever? And I feel like for a lot of you, you had to come to that truth as well. And you had to really go back to like the beginning, like your childhood. The root base of who you are, why you are. For some of you, it could have been... Anyways, right? Let's move on. Two of Wands. Horizontal. Two of Wands, horizontal, next to or on top of Cancer and Secret love affair. I feel like whatever plans you have, nobody knows. Nobody knows anything right now. Whoever is trying to stomp all over this, they don't know what to stomp on. They don't know what plans you have. I also feel like, all right, so whoever this person is too, they also don't know what you're afraid of. They don't know what you're afraid of. They don't know what gives you anxiety. They don't know what you're planning. They don't know where you're going. They don't know what you're looking at. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. And because they don't know, they don't. But they're hovering. Whoever this person is, don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying they don't know anything. Like yes, it's good, but at the same time, be cautious because be cautious because this person, they're just waiting. It's like they're waiting to stomp. Like if you're afraid of that, they're gonna use that. If you're like having a plan to do this, they're gonna stomp on that. Just be cautious. Everything is being hidden from this person right now. Who you're allied with, who you're enemies with, what you're planning, what you're afraid of. It's hidden. And this person, they're hovering. They are hovering. I'm talking like it's heavy. This person's energy is heavy, but that's not going to change anything. Right? But here's the thing. So you may be asking, well, if it's not going to change anything, then why does it not matter if they know? Because here's the thing. They're hovering so bad. It's like the universe, angels, ancestor, God, they're just like, well, let me just tuck this away just in case, right? Like if you know there's a thief around you, would you tell that thief that? So this person's like getting really, really mad. If there's a thief around you, would you let it be known? Like, and you know for a fact that there's a camera right there watching. So there's no way that they can steal it. But that doesn't mean you're going to go ahead and tell that thief like, oh yeah, I have $5 in my pocket. Or like, you know, you're not going to put that $5 on the table despite the fact that there's a camera right there. And if they were to get it, they would be seen on camera, right? It's like that. Like the universe is not going to let you put your $5 on the table. And it's really it's making this person mad. Because they just can't stomp on anything. And I also feel like you're smart enough to not share anything either or talk about anything or cards. You're smart enough to not show your cards with the Queen of Swords. Page of Wands, upright. Justice reverse, King of Wands reverse. So, some good news coming your way. So, there's a King of Wands reverse. I feel like this person, I don't want to say they're irrelevant, but they're also around you. I don't, oh my God, okay. This King of Wands in reverse, I feel like he was just like thrown into whatever was going around you, whatever you were doing, whatever works the universe was doing for you, to you. Whoever this angry person that's hovering around your energy, it's kind of like they just threw a King of Wands in reverse to like trying to like throw a monkey wrench at you, trying to throw a rock at your bike to make sure you would trip and fall. But realistically, what happened was that this King of Wands in reverse now feels like this entire situation that he was put in the middle of, he feels like it's unfair. Like it's not fair to him. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, like that it's just, I don't know, like you're walking around with your pile of rocks, and then someone out of nowhere just throws in a rock, and that rock is like, why am I here? What's going on? What's going on? I feel like that's what's going on with that King of Wands in reverse. Like, it's just like, Why am I here? I don't understand what's going on. This King of Wands in reverse is definitely a stranger, but I also feel like they just don't, like, they don't know what they're doing. So if this King of Wands was thrown at you, this King of Wands doesn't even know what's going on either. I feel like whoever this karmic feminine was who threw this King of Wands at you, it was this, the purpose was of this King of Wands was to see what this person cannot see. But again, you're smart enough to know what the purpose of this King of Wands is, why they were thrown at you. So everybody is just like, this, I don't know. That's all I can say. Whoever did this King of Wands at you, they did it because they wanted to know. They wanted this King of Wands to see what they couldn't see, or for you to open up, or for you to tell this King of Wands in reverse things, and then they would relay that to this person. But not even this King of Wands in reverse can see things, and it's like, for some reason, I can't get the feeling that this King of Wands in reverse feels like he's been gypped, or like he's been scammed or some shit. Like he's like, he got the bad end of the deal, the cheaper end of the bargain. Because you're constantly getting good news, you're constantly one-upping everybody, you're constantly knowing what's going on. You're smart enough to know to keep it quiet. You're not letting anything out. You're not revealing anything. You're not saying anything. You're not talking about anything. You're not showing anything. And it's like, whatever this King of Wands in reverse was promised by relaying information that you would tell them, it's like, this King of Wands in reverse is saying, what am I doing here? Like, what's the point? What am I doing? What's the point? This King of Wands in reverse is pissed off too. And here you are, constantly getting good news, constantly, on top of everything. You're smart, you're aware, you're standing in your power, your truth. So I just think that's like the funniest thing ever. So. All right. I don't know. I think that's it. Oh my god, I've been like so dehydrated. Hold on. Alright. So, yeah, I think that's it. For the most part, I do, okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to get some other cards real quick, because there's something I'm curious of. I'm curious about clarifying, okay? I'm going to pull. I usually don't care about clarifying because I already know, right? Like, but for the sake of being amused, which I am at the moment, I'm going to clarify some things with this King of Wands in reverse and this Justice card in reverse. Hold on. Okay. Also, I want to point out that Justice in reverse also represents retribution and revenge. So the reason why I'm bringing those two things up is because this. Here's the thing. This is so stupid, and I just think it's like, it's so stupid that, you know how when something is so stupid you think it's funny, right? So whoever this karmic feminine is, right? For some of you it's karmic masculine, but whatever. So whoever this karmic feminine is, who's like so angry and like disgruntled and whatever, she threw in this King of Wands at you with, and this King of Wands in reverse, he came at you with the impression that you were the bad guy, that you were this, you were that, blah, 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 right? Like, that was, so this King of Wands in reverse came at you gung-ho with the idea, with the intent of retribution on behalf of this person that they were working, like, they thought they were defending somebody, right? They thought they were gonna also, that they were gonna help this person get revenge by, I don't know, like some sort of retribution, okay, for this person. But now this person is realizing, like, it was all BS, and now this is why this King of Wands in reverse, they're mad, because they're like, what am I doing here? Like, you said this, and which is why I did X, Y, Z, because I'm trying to get revenge for you so that you can have retribution, but what am I doing here? Because apparently what you told me is not true, right? This whole situation seems unfair all around, right? So I'm not saying that this realization is gonna. I don't know. I can't say anything, but there's this King of Wands in reverse. There's still a karmic. So I just wanna say that, okay? Because this King of Wands in reverse did think that he was doing something for somebody that they cared about, or that they were really like attacking the enemy, which they thought you were the enemy, right? Again, like I don't want to like Zuko was kind of brainwashed into thinking that the Avatar was the enemy for the longest of time. But then he started like coming to his own realizations like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm the enemy, right? Because I'm not trying to, I'm trying to stop change from happening. Whoever this person is that threw this King of Wands in reverse at you, they don't want a change to happen. And for some reason, it's like they brainwashed this King of Wands in reverse. But it didn't happen, right? You're still getting this good news. You're still I also okay. So the Page of Wands also talks about curiosity. And I feel like that's so important because it's like people be like, "Oh, be careful what you're curious about. Be careful what you want to know because, curiosity killed the cat." But that's not true. And if you don't know it, the whole saying is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. That is the whole saying. So I feel like that's so important. Like I feel like people condemn you for your curiosity, but in real life, it's like that's a gift of God, that curious nature. And that's another thing that like helps you continuously push forward because you're curious enough to want to dig deep. And once you dig deep, it's like, all right, I now have this answer. I can move on with my life. I can progress. I can change. I can guide. I can teach. Somebody really wants you to, like, they condemn you for your curiosity. This could be somebody who's, like, religious. They'd be like, well, be careful what you're curious about, right? You don't want to stray too far from the path or whatever. But curiosity is a gift, right? Because it helps you dig deep. It helps you research. It helps you. Inquiring minds are a gift. And this person could also hate you because you're always curious and you always want to know more and you always want to find answers and you always want to like learn. I also here's the thing too. Okay, this is a lot. I know. I'm sorry. This King of Wands in reverse. One of the things that made him realize that this entire situation was unfair and unjust is the fact that you inspired him in some way, and you're constantly inspiring him, right? So that's that. All right. Oops. The Empress in reverse. Yeah. So whoever this, it's a karmic feminine. She's mad because she can't grow anything. She probably stole things from you, invading your privacy. This Empress in reverse gets to watch you live your dreams. And on top of that, if she was over here lying about you, making you seem like you were something you were not, and then sent this King of Wands in reverse after you under an impression, under a lie, he's realizing, hold up, what is going on? Because I don't understand what's going on. Why am I here? This Empress in reverse is like, well, you don't have anything to say? You were just saying all of that hooting and hollering not too long ago. Where's your words now? So this was definitely a karmic feminine. She gets to watch you live your dreams. After all that hooting and hollering, after lying about you, after, doing things, messing with your privacy, trying to just be weird and, I don't know, hover around you and jealous and, I don't know, just weirdo. It could be a Pisces with the moon here. I think Empress is Taurus. We got Taurus, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We got all the signs here pretty much. Actually, the only signs that we do not have, interesting enough, is Scorpio. So you could take that as you can have a lot of hands in the pot. And if you're a Scorpio, you're the only one that had nothing to do with this. Or it's just, There's a change that is happening that doesn't need to be said, right? I feel like that's really it. There's a change that's happening that doesn't need to be said, and people are fearing this change. And it really had to do because you finally decided to listen to your intuition and decided to walk and be your highest good, right? You are, let's see, season 3 of Zuko and Avatar The Last Airbender, right? And whoever this person is, they are Azula in Avatar The Last Airbender. So congrats.